Today, we're going to be looking at the Wolfbox G840H dashcam. Now, this mirror is the upgraded version of the G840 line that Wolfbox has been selling for some time now. They have upgraded the front sensor, so now you have a full 2.5K resolution, and the rear is also high definition. Both of the cameras are using Sony sensors. So I'm going to first show you what you get when you buy one of these things. Then I'm going to show you the features that the dashcam comes with. Finally, I'll take it out for a drive so we can get some driving footage both at day and night. So here's the G840H LCD mirror by Wolfbox. First off, you can see that it has a nice black piano finish, and this LCD screen is a full 12 inches in length. So it's a nice size screen. Now let's look at the ports. The port on this side right here, that's for the power. Then you have a memory card slot, then the input for the GPS, and then finally the input for the rear camera. Moving on to the bottom, there's a single button, and that is the power button. I'm gonna flip this over. On the back, you have a nice texture finish, and you have what appears to be two microphone ports, a left and a right. And also what looks like two speakers, and a left and a right speaker. You also have 4 hooks, and those hooks are gonna be what holds this mirror to our original mirror. And they do that by using these little silicone straps that they include. You basically connect the silicone straps like this, and this is how it's gonna hold on to our original mirror. Now they give you 2 straps to be able to install this, but they do give you an extra set in case you lose one of the originals, which is neat. That's always a good thing. I like when they give us extra. And on this side, you have the upgraded camera. This is a 2.5 camera, and it's fully telescopic. As you can see, we can go up, we can go down, we can go left, and we can go right. So really, you can point this anywhere you want, which is good because we're able to adjust our view for us to be able to capture the most of what we're trying to look at. Now let's go back to the front. Now I talked about the black piano finish, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Now this is reflective, so when I take this outside, you could use this as a mirror, but the finish is quite different from other LCD mirrors that I have played around with. Here's another mirror. This is the van top mirror, and as you can see that the finish is completely different. This has a very high reflective finish, which works great when you want to use it just as a mirror. But when you turn this on and you're looking at the LCD screen behind it, this finish is quite reflective and can create some reflections or undesired glare. So this is what I think is gonna be a better finish in terms for us to see the LCD screen over the highly polished one. Now that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It just, you gotta think about how you're gonna use this mirror. If you're planning to use this mirror, let's say 50% of the time as a plain Jane mirror, and then 50% of the time as an LCD mirror, this is gonna be fine for you. But like myself, I always use this on as an LCD mirror, and because of that, I think that this is probably gonna give me better ability for me to see the screen because there's no reflective finish. I never use it as a regular mirror, so I'll be quite interested to see if this finish does help for us to have a better picture. Now let's look at what else you get in the package. You get the GPS antenna. You also get a very nice long power cable, and you get a little power adapter. Now the power adapter is great because we can also use it to charge other devices that use the USB port. So that's pretty cool. And you also get the rear camera. Now the rear camera is also high definition and is waterproof. Now it does have a very long cable that they include. This cable is about 20 feet in length. So again, that's just more than enough cable for us to route this all the way to the back of our car. Now how are we gonna mount the rear camera? Well, we have 2 options. We can either mount it with the included high adhesion 3M tape, peel that off and just stick it, or we can mount it using screws. Now they also include a bracket on here. The bracket is a nice addition because using the bracket, and you can use it with the double-sided tape, you can tilt the mirror up and down. So this again gives you adjustability where you want the camera to point. You could also use the bracket with the screws to point the camera up and down, but anytime you're using screws, you're drilling into your car. I'm not a fan of using or making holes in my car, so I love the double-sided tape. As you can see, we have the time over here, the date, and also some basic indicators. The red dot tells us that we are recording. We have our memory card installed. The sound, the microphone is on, so our conversation is being recorded. And also you have a GPS indicator telling us that the GPS is functioning. This is something that I like. I think it's a nice addition. Some cars do come with a compass, but this car doesn't. So I like that this has a nice compass, and it'll tell you you're going west and you're going east. Sometimes for people like me who are not very good at directions, this comes in very handy. Now to access the menu, there's a little a couple of dots that you push on there, and then it gives you a different view where you can actually stop the recording and then access some of the settings in here. Okay, let's look at some of the things that are on the menu. First of all, I have installed a nice small 32 gigabyte memory card, so that's what is being displayed here, and I can choose to format that if I wanted to. Also, under the resolution menu, you can confirm that the front is indeed a full 2K, or what they call 2.5K, which is 2560 by 1440 in terms of resolution. And the rear is the standard high definition 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080, which should give us a nice crisp image. You can also change the size of the clip, the recording loop time. And what I recommend for this, I always like to use 3 minutes. So basically the camera is going to record in chunks of either 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. I like 3 minutes because then I don't have to sort through a lot of video clips to find the one I'm interested in. You can also choose to only record video by turning off the record sound function. I always like to record the sound, and if I don't need it, I could dump it later. Now the G sensor is also a very important feature because this allows you to change the sensitivity of how this detects if you were involved in a car crash. If you have it set very high and all of a sudden you go over a bump, it might just trigger and save that event permanently when that wasn't really what you were trying to capture. So it might create a lot of false alerts. I like low. Low seems to be the best one so far, where it's really going to capture when you get into an actual car crash. Parking sensitivity, you'll notice that we cannot enable this setting. This is something that on some dash cams you are able to turn it on regardless of how you hooked it up, but on some dash cams you are required to hardwire the dash cam to your car, and that makes sense. You're not going to be able to have parking mode monitoring enabled unless you have a hardwire kit installed. And I'll put a link on the description to a hardwire kit. Basically what this does is going to allow the camera to monitor your car 24/7, and basically it's being powered by the car's battery even when the car is off. So that means that if somebody were to bump into your car in the middle of the night, the camera will turn on and it will capture a clip of what happened. So we'll keep going down the list. Display mode. Here you can able to customize if you want information on the front of the screen or you don't. All on, that gives you the essentials. It doesn't clutter your screen, so I think that's perfect. Brightness, you can also change the brightness of the screen. Low will be for night driving, or middle. I always leave mine on high. Actually, I even leave mine on high even at night because I don't like to mess with it. I think the high is not bright enough where you're being blinded at night when you're driving, and it works great during the daytime too. Volume, you can change the volume of the little speakers that are built in on here if you wanted to play the video through the mirror. I mostly take the videos and I look at them on my computer, so middle is fine. Reverse line, and a lot of you guys want this feature. This feature, if your car does not have reverse parking guidelines, this will give you that feature. However, in order for it to actually display the lines, you have to hook up an additional wire to basically the tail lights of your car. And when you put your car in reverse and the tail light lights up, that tells the mirror turn on the grid lines. Since I already have grid lines on my car, I don't really hook up that wire. And then you can reset this entire thing back to its default. So a nice simple menu. I like that. I like when they keep it nice and simple. Now going back to the front, you'll notice that we're automatically recording again. And there's a couple things that you can do in here. You can choose to take a picture. Let's say you see something interesting, perhaps a license plate you want to capture. You just press that and take a picture. Also, if you wanted to record, permanently lock a video permanently, you could also do that with the lock button. So that saves that video and says, do not delete this, do not overwrite this whatsoever. Going back to this little corner, this will show you the previous videos that were already on file that you've been recording. And you can display not only the front videos, but the rear videos as well. Let me show you this. I'll put a rear video. That's a rear video. That's me recording. So I'm going to pause that. Okay. But like I said, this is easier, I think, on the computer than trying to watch your videos on your car. Now, on this view, you actually get the front view and a little bit of the back, but this is not the normal view that I use. I like to use the main full screen view. On the full screen view, you're able to do something that I love about dashcam mirrors, and especially when you buy the real one. This is the real one. They sell the little ones with the tiny little screen like that. You don't want those. You want this full-size screen. You're able to do this. Because the view is so massive coming from the back of the vehicle, you have a lot more visibility than if you were looking through your standard mirror. And you can choose how much or where you specifically want your view to be. If you are interested in looking at the back, let's say you're backing up, you can adjust that. I always like to leave it somewhere in here that shows me not only when I'm backing up, but also shows me the view when I'm driving. Now to go to the front, you just swipe. And by swiping, now I can display the front camera. Now this really, you're not going to be driving with this face, with this on, because you're already looking forward. So why would you want to have this on? Yeah, I don't know why you would, but this also shows you at least what the mirror is looking at, so you can aim your camera correctly for the video to come out the best. Now you're also able to adjust up and down, but this is just what is being displayed. What is actually being captured is the entire image. So it doesn't matter if I'm driving with this thing facing down, this thing is still recording the entire image, all of it that's right here. So this is just adjusting how it's displayed on the mirror, which is great because you can see how it's really recording a massive amount of information. Okay, going back to here. All right, so now that you saw all the features that come with this mirror, let's do some driving and let's check out the video quality. So I hope this video has covered all the questions you may have about the Wolfbox G840H dashcam, and also hopefully the driving footage will give you an idea of what to expect when buying one of these LCD mirror dashcams. If you guys have any other questions about the dashcam, feel free to put it on the comments below. And also if you have any other dashcams that you'd like me to look at, feel free to comment down below also. I'll put a link on the description if you are interested in looking and purchasing this camera. And I have a lot more reviews coming up, so make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.